your soul will remain whole. And that spoke to me because I was feeling broken. I was feeling sad. I was feeling grief that I did not expect to feel. I am going to try to do this video. This is just a real video journal. For the last few days, I thought I was pregnant. Now, if you know me, you know that that's funny because as a child or a teenager, I was like, I don't want kids. And then I had my daughter, and I was like, I love her. She's perfect. I'm good with one. One and done was my saying. And then here comes her second daughter, and I was like, okay, two and through. I've always wanted a boy secretly. So weird. I've always wanted a boy. I was like, well, if I have kids, I think I want a boy. And I have two girls, and I love them, and they're perfect. They're beautiful. They are not perfect. um, but, and I've kind of always secretly wanted twins, but like for my own reasons. But for the last few days, I did think that I was pregnant. I was even late, which was like, oh, what is happening? I was welcoming the idea of having more mini humans. And I was getting comfortable with that idea, that thought, that desire. Even given our present situation, which is not conducive to having more kids financially or just physical space wise. But my brain was on, my heart was on. Whatever it is, whatever the case, God will make a way. It turns out I am not pregnant, but the grief that followed after was a bit of a shock. And I cried, which was interesting. And I prayed and I talked to God. Oh boy, when I was younger, I said if I had a boy, I'd name him Jeremiah. I always liked the little boy from the Whitney Houston version of The Preacher's Wife, and his name was Jeremiah. He just reminded me of my brothers. The way he looked, the character's thought process. He reminded me of my brothers, and I was like, if I had a son, his name would be Jeremiah because of The Preacher's Wife. And God is so intentional. And it's so interesting because I was sad, but I had to get my daughter to school. So I take her to school. And I didn't want to hear anything. I didn't want to hear any music. I didn't want to hear anything. But I turned on K-Love. And Mercy Me is playing It Is Well. And it comforted me. And I think one of the lines in the song was, let's see if I can get it. I just look it up. Because that's the thing we can do now. And I can hear the song in my head right now. Whatever it is, you're still my God. It is well with my soul. Let me pause real quick. Okay, I found it. This line right here. Jesus, could you please just sit and cry with me till I can sing? It is well with my soul. It's hard. I'm losing my voice. However, Jesus, could you please just sit and cry with me? That line came on. I'm driving. My daughter's in the back, and I'm like, "Oh God, please! I gotta keep us on this road alive." But He's so intentional. He is, and He's there. He is there, and He hears you and He sees you, Elroy. And I'm grateful for that, because sometimes you just feel like you feel alone, and like this song says, "Don't let me face this loneliness alone," right? I don't know. I guess this is just like a video journal for me to say, like, I'm not alone. I'm not facing this alone. And Jesus will sit and cry with me. And He'll rejoice with me. And He'll convict me. But I'm not alone. And He will sit with me. But here's where it gets so great. Because going back to Jeremiah, Nobody knows this except my husband. Nobody knows that I've always wanted a son to name him Jeremiah. I mean, Jesus, clearly, and my husband. But every morning I read the verse, the Bible of the verse of the day in the Bible app. And if you're in this app, you know that it starts with a verse. And then there's a second portion here. There's just so many things. But let's see if we can get this here. Maybe. However, I read the verse of the day when I woke up this morning before my feet hit the ground. And then I got my daughter ready for school, drove her to school. The song came on, walked her in, came back to my car, sat for a minute, tapped my phone. I don't even know if I actually opened my phone. Maybe I did. But God is so intentional. Here's what I'll just do like a screenshot and put it on the screen somewhere. But my phone's open. It opened as I'm sitting in the driver's seat getting ready to go back home. And the first line is your soul will remain whole. And that spoke to me because I was feeling broken. I was feeling sad. I was feeling grief that I did not expect to feel. And confusion because I'm 34. When I had my last daughter, about 2 months shy of 30, the doctors are already like, a little bit high risk for having a baby. And I'm like, am I though? Am I? And so, um, because God, I'll leave it at that. But this line, your soul will remain whole, was just so helpful. And I kept reading, and it goes, who is your portion? Jesus. Oh, but he's so intentional because I saw your soul will remain whole. Who is your portion? I answered the question out loud in that moment, and then two couple more lines down on one line, there's the word name Jeremiah. And I broke because God is so intentional. Jesus. And I know the time isn't now because there's so much that we have to get in order. However, I know that he hears me. I know that he feels me. He sees me. So I'm working my way through this. He's a very intentional God. And he hears everything and he knows you. And I'm grateful after I saw the name Jeremiah on that line and after I broke down, I went to the book of Jeremiah, one of my favorites. And I must have forgotten because I don't know why I thought this piece was later in the book. Verse 4 is like the prophet's call, right? Jeremiah's call. The first words, then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. What's interesting to me is that, it's clear. It's just that this entire morning has been, he knows I love words, and it's just been affirmation after validation after confirmation. It's just not right now, and I'm okay with that. I'm at peace. It is well with my soul.